the skirt. This is taffeta. It's going to be a full circle. And it's going to go with that. When I'm casing boning, I like to make sure it's soft on your skin or it's not going to poke through the fabric. So I'm just cutting some strips 3 times the width of that, and I'm just literally eyeballing, and all I will do is fold them over, fold that over, fold that over, so it's nice and soft on the edges as well, because quite often I find that they work the way out. So obviously I've cut that one a little bit too wide, so trim down again. It's not an exact science. You don't see any with this, and it's so I might just snip my corners off so I don't have too much bulk. So I'll fold the end over, give it a good press. Oh, my iron's not plugged in. I can't leave anything plugged in this place because there are little furry creatures. So I will just fold them over like that. Da, da, da. And then we'll just sew that down. This is not serious boning. This it's got wire going through it. It's quite rigid when it's in a garment, but it's easier to use than the steel boning, which needs a casing. So that's it, and I will just stitch it down like that. Okay, and at least I know that there won't be any sharp corners that can hurt anyone or wear through the fabric, because that's another thing. Sometimes these corners and things, they can wear holes in the fabric. But this particular dress that I'm making, it's probably going to be worn once a year, so I'm not too worried. It's a goth creation, which I'll show you in another video. And again, over there and over, and that's it. Quite simple. It's effective. This is just brushed cotton. It's an old sheet. It's not an old sheet. It's a sheet that I've used on another project because I like the softness of the brushed cotton, and I think it's nice against your skin, and this particular bit is going against my skin. Try not to knock the camera. So principally this wedding dress is shot taffeta underneath, and the skirt, it also already has its petticoat layer on, and then over the top there is black voile. Now the black voile there is intentional because I'm going to be embellishing lots and lots and lots of different lace throughout this dress. It's going to be quite elaborate, but black and white. So I've got lots and lots of different trims that I'm going to be using, including some amazing like angel wings that will be going over the shoulder like this. So I needed something to kind of fix all this on. I can't fix it to your bare flesh. So the whole thing has a voile or tulle, like vest almost over the top, which will be semi-transparent. So at the back of my dress, now this is actually a full circle wedding dress skirt, and I've done that for a reason. And the reason is the taffeta's quite bulky, this voile's quite bulky, and I wanted a very slim, I wanted it to flare but not be bulky here. I didn't want any bulk around the waist, so this is why I've cut it out on a circle skirt, and I think that will work quite well. Now I want to create the illusion at the back of a lot more fullness than we would normally have, to balance the fact that my client has got quite a large bust. And really no hips or bottom to speak of, so I'm going to make some fullness at the back of the dress. So the circle skirt has given me so much excess, which is quite a lot, but that's the beauty of like designing and creating. I can do a million things with that. I can flatten that out, pin it down and conceal that extra pleat there if I wanted to, and if I wanted to create fullness without bulk, that's what I would do. I could also do an inverted pleat, which is, you know, more like that. There's lots, you know, lots of different techniques, but I think what I'm going to do on this particular skirt, I'm going to gather in from the centre front to maybe the centre of the hip, from there to there, and that will create quite a nice, I think, effect at the back and give some volume. Now underneath this I've got a Victorian petticoat which actually has room for a bustle in the back of it. Let's see if I can show you. It's a genuine Victorian petticoat, and it's got so much fullness in the back that if I needed to give her some shape, I would just make a really light kind of net thing which would bulk out. So these bustle petticoats were made obviously with so much more fullness. I know that's quite hard to see, isn't it, on there, or maybe I can move the camera back, but you'll see more as we go further down the line. So my next task is to get the vest bit done and stitch it all together, and then we can start adding the embellishments, and to me that's the exciting time. You know, pulling it all together and making the, yeah, but we can allow room for some tweaks later, like in the side seam, and then cover any alterations, but it's boned as well. It's shot taffeta, which is crinkly, but prior to wearing I will be steaming this to see exactly what we can do. You can see that the voile on the top, or the tulle on the top, gives it kind of a silver effect. So it's still a white wedding dress, but with a twist, and I think that's really nice. I think it's really nice when people think outside the box and don't necessarily go for, you know, the same old. It's nice to use your imagination and be creative. So I'm trying to sew. The minute I take my bottom out of the chair, I've got little wrap bags buggering about. Don't even think about climbing up there. Garfield, you really are a liability. Go on, clear off out there. Look all bothered out there. What have you seen? Today I'm going to attempt to put a tiny delicate hem on this huge gown. This could be a challenge. It just depends on quite a few things. I'm just going to start off and see how it goes. So I'm clearly going that way around the gown. Tiny hems are not my strong point. I think what I'm going to do is go around it once with a longish stitch. I can use them as tacking stitches then. And then fold up again. Needle position's wrong. I need it to be near the edge. Just try that. Perfect. So yeah, it's going to be a 2-step hem. It's a full circle skirt. And I need this hem to look amazing. Don't want to be pressing it because it's shot taffeta and it's not the easiest thing to press. In fact, that hem would probably be fine on its own. So yeah, I'll see you on the other side because this could take me a long time and I need to concentrate, so I can't be chuntering on while I'm stitching. So I will know how it goes. In fact, as I look, I think it's perfect. I don't think it needs a double stitch. So, okay, bye for now. I'm not sure this is going to hold. I've got this camera put up against my sewing machine and it will probably slide down. There's definitely a need for a proper camera for doing this kind of thing. So it's if I can show you, it's a little pinked hem, so it's not going to fray, and on the other side it just looks like that, and I think that will be okay. But if it doesn't look okay, then I can trim it down and then do another. I think that'll probably stiffen the hem too much, so okay. Update today on the wedding dress. So what have we done? Okay, we managed to sort these seams out, which I think, if you remember, were a bit weird. And the hem, we've put 3 hems on. Hem on the dress, hem on the overskirt, hem on the underskirt. And we're working on the back. We've got some lovely buttons to go on there so that meets up. So been tweaking on the back yet. Lace to go there. But yeah, I think those seams look a lot better. Anyway. So really, the hard work's done. It's literally just the sitting down and finishing all this detail now, which is just lovely to do anyway, so nothing onerous. Lovely. So nothing to worry about, it's all in hand. Not going to be too much longer. A couple more days and it should be completed. So I'm planning to take today and tomorrow just to work on this. And then of course I'll bring my steamer and see if we can get those pieces out. I have to be really careful with this because it melts. But it's looking absolutely beautiful. You won't see that because that's all waiting for more embellishments, but yay! So I'm on the home push now. I am so close to finishing, yeah. So I am just continuing. This is the stuff that absolutely kills my fingers to make that bead, because they're not really buttons, they're just beads, but so they needed a shank in order for that to go through the ribbon. And I think that once that's buttoned up, I have tested And I think that works okay. So I just have to put about 10 little knots in it, and then I'm sealing it with some fray check to hopefully, so that there's no unravel, because the last thing I want is a button to drop off on the day. And the plan for these obsidian beads as a button is that after the dress has been worn, these beads can be taken off, because they can be replaced with a different style of button. They can be taken off and put into a bracelet. I had hematite as well, and just these, just a plain crystal bead. And I also had these opaline ones, but the bride chose the obsidian ones, so that's what we're doing. I've tried quite a few different ways, and this one seems to be working. So on that last batch of knots there, oh my goodness, that last batch of knots there, I'm going to squeeze. I've got a new gadget to do, a little glue pen which comes out, so it just gives me a tiny little dot, and it's quite useful. I've been trying to get, you know, a dot of glue out of something like this, and it's really thick, so it's really hard going to squeeze it. I've not really had any luck with it. I've been putting it on with a pin, because lots of different things on the dress I've stabilised. For example, let me just see if I can show you anything. So when I've stitched an embellishment on, just for example, there's a press stud. No, that's not, you can't see that. So for example, here there is a press stud holding the lace down, which means that you can access the zip, but the zip is totally concealed. You won't see any of that. So on the back of the stitches there, on the back of the stitches that have held that down, I have glued, just so that nothing unravels. And same on the backs of like my little velvet roses. They've got, you know, fray check. So all I have to do now is reposition these, because I've noticed they're coming down towards the centre back, which is not right. They need to be coming straight down and leaving that back open. So, you know, they need, I'll probably take some of these stitches out and see if I can reposition it better. Just doesn't fit the dummy, this dress, because my sister is a completely different shape, and I haven't put the padding in either, but the dress actually fits her beautifully. It's a lovely fit. So now this is the last bit in the jigsaw, and it will slightly overlap. Maybe it will just sort of be like that all the way down there. Just a natural, you know, where it is. So it will meet at the top though. It will be slightly over at the top, but that's okay. So yeah, I need to unpick these carefully. Ugh, honestly, hours and hours and hundreds and thousands of stitches that have gone into putting everything onto this amazing wedding dress. But, you know, I've even made roses with some of the tulle and some velvet. There's butterflies. I meant to, you know, I wanted it 3-dimensional, so some of the butterflies move. I do want to put crystals on it, but I'm going to ask first, because once I've put them on, I can't take them off. I do want some sparkle on that. I want to lift it a little bit, and I think it needs that little bit of sparkle. Let's turn it around towards the light. It is absolutely gorgeous. It does have some, it has some odd sequins on it. So I think what I'm going to do is use one of these butterflies and just put a stone in the middle there and see what she thinks of that. Haha. But yeah, can't wait to see it on. And it has some feathers that go around the collar. that come off. They're on little tiny press studs, and they will come off. She can take those off if she doesn't want them. I'll do another snapshot of the collar on. Okay. Another day. Still some more bits, more hand stitching to do. But we're getting there. There's lots of threads to finish off as well. So it's not far off now. Really, it's the final push. And it's looking magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. Can't remember about that. So that press studs on there. So it's easy to get in, but you can't see that. It is over the top. And I actually think if you're going to make a statement, let's make a statement. For goodness sake, we don't do half measures. If you're going to do something, go the whole hog, the whole 9 yards. So there might be some little bits to trim down, I'm not sure, on the day, but I'll be bringing lots of, there's another needle, oh yeah, clearly we're in the middle of that. I'll be bringing lots more trims and stuff so that if there's any additional embellishments that need to go on, they will go on. I do love that. It's all the way down the centre. Got a bit more elaboration to do in the back, but it's simply lovely. Got butterflies everywhere. On these are meant to give a 3-dimensional look. I've tried tipping some in silver, but I'm not overly enthused about them. Although they're not too bad, I don't know. I just don't think they're perfect enough. And I have no idea. At this moment in time, my instinct is saying no, don't put them on. So yeah, a few more little bits to fill in, but not much. I don't want, there's no point putting much more detail on the back because the detail's here. The waist, down the sides, and that's it. I kind of don't want to over egg it. So there's a bit of a gap there which I'm going to fill in today. Just little gaps. But I think some silver, white is good because it's really making this black pop. Not the best angle I get that. Let's see if I can change it slightly. No, I don't think so. These tripods are not user friendly really. So we've got one half of the feather on, and obviously it is fastened with little poppers. I just need to find a tiny little pad of fleece to put behind them because where the stitches end I've fixed with glue so that the stitching doesn't unravel and the poppers don't come off. But now that's made them prickly. So I'm looking for a tiny scrap of black fleece, which I'll have somewhere, to make a nice soft job of that. So yeah, very happy with it. It's amazing. I would have liked to have totally covered it in black gemstones and crystals so that it completely glitters. That's not something we've discussed, but I really do want to see all this sparkle like dramatically. Let me know what you think. We're in the sewing room at the moment. Bella's in her bed. I've put it in here because I don't want the cat sleeping in it. It's Bella's bed, but when we go upstairs, she just sleeps with me, so there's no point. Are you going to go to bed now? Away, you look very comfy there. I do take the bed, I have taken the bed upstairs, but she wants to sleep on the bed. That's okay, get the mess. trying to design headdresses and other beautiful things for this lovely dress. Time to turn in here. And I've made some roses. These carefully. Ugh, honestly, hours and hours and hundreds and thousands of stitches that have gone into putting everything onto this amazing wedding dress. But, you know, I've even made roses with some of the tulle and some velvet. There's butterflies are meant to, you know, I wanted it 3-dimensional. So some of the butterflies move. I do want to put crystals on it, but I'm going to ask first, because once I've put them on I can't take them off. I do want some sparkle on that. I want to lift it a little bit, and I think it needs that little bit of sparkle. Let's turn it around towards the light. It is absolutely gorgeous. It does have some, it has some odd sequins on it. So I think what I'm going to do is use one of these butterflies and just put a stone in the middle there and see what she thinks of that. Haha. But yeah, can't wait to see it on. And it has some feathers that go around the collar that come off. They're on little tiny press studs, and they will come off. She can take those off if she doesn't want them. I'll do another snapshot of the collar on. Okay. Final push. All I have to do now is put the last lot of poppers on this side, and that's the last thing to do. I'm quite emotional, really. I've put so much into the making of this dress. It's been an absolute labour of love, but it is absolutely stunning when it's on. Obviously it's a perfect fit because it's made to fit. It's different. It's unusual. So they like popper on. Woohoo! Just for a bit of drama. I'm not gonna fasten those buttons because I need to take the garment off now, the hanger now. And all I need to do now is put some little hanging loops inside so that when it's hung it doesn't strain the delicate, almost transparent foil. These buttons down the back are obsidian beads. I couldn't find any nice buttons really, so I made a little button shank. It took me probably 2 or 3 hours to just do that little bit there. So yeah, lots of time gone in. A quick glance at the front. Venus is not the right fit for this dress. This is a tiny, you'll just have to take my word for it, but it does look really when all that's on. And the feathers do stand up and sort of go up the neckline. So, yep.